So good morning all. I'm going to attempt to vlog our experience over the next couple of days at rounds 3 and 4 of Brands Hatch Time Attack. So it's currently 8:30 Thursday the 16th now. I did actually meant to start this vlog yesterday on the Wednesday. We had a few bits to do in the car to get to this point where we are now, so I'll forgive you if you're lost, because unfortunately I think in the last video I uploaded we did all the fuel lines, the oil lines, etc., and then there was a whole video planned on the next stage of the list. So let me just go back to the list and just sort of show you what we've actually physically accomplished over this last couple of days. So yeah, the list is empty. All we've got now is the auxiliary stuff, which is wider heater, which hopefully is going to get done tomorrow. And we've got the manual rack, which unfortunately is not going to be with us. So I'm going to have to make some sort of reservoir tank this morning to loop the power steering, because the power steering's been chucked in the bin. So what's actually happened with the car last couple of days? So I'm pleased to tell you the car runs and drives. It's mapped. We've got some power. We made 180 horsepower at 10 psi, turbo only. That isn't our end target power goal, but we literally had, by the time we had the car ready to be in a state to be tuned yesterday, we had 2 hours on the rollers. That's it, 2 hours, not a minute more, not a minute less, 2 hours. So in the 2 hours, we managed to get 180 horsepower at 10 psi. Now, there's definitely a lot more power in it. It's just time, you know, if we had maybe a couple more hours, we could have maybe achieved, you know, my 200 horsepower power target for this weekend, but 180 horsepower to get us to this weekend, I'm going to live with. Now, the way I see it, yes, you know, a lot of you going, you know, well, that's not the 300 horsepower you said you're going to have. Well, we have to take it in steps. So we have to consider the engine, the built engine still isn't in, so that's still the stock 1.5. And we've got a lot of people counting on us this weekend to have the car there at Brands Hatch. So because of those commitments alone, I deemed it necessary to, let's not chase power target for this weekend. Let's just get it there with a safe map. Let's get some seat time in it. Let's learn how to drive this new car rather than take, you know, rather than risk, you know, 200, 250 horsepower for now and then blow it up on day one. So we're quite confident that the setup we've got now in tune is going to get us through both Saturday and Sunday, and I'm at the minute what I'm thinking of doing is on the final on Sunday is we'll turn the wick up a bit, we'll press that page up button a couple of times, give it a bit of extra power, because at the end of the day, if we blow the engine up in the final, I'm not going to cry about it, because, you know, we've not wasted the weekend, we've blown it up on the very last session, and I'm fully prepared to put another engine in that next week anyway. Let's just sort of talk through what's gone on in the car since the last video. We've got the bucket seat back in now. We've got our dashboard fitted. I've actually bought a Garmin catalyst. We've got a can pad here. We've got a plumbed-in fire extinguisher. We've got our CarTech isolator relay. We've got our Time Attack rain light there. We've got this Cooler Works shifter off a BMW E36. I actually need to play with that this morning because it's very difficult to get third and fourth gear. The centering spring doesn't really want to center the gear stick in the right place, so a couple of times I've had to gingerly come off the clutch, and unluckily, well I say unluckily, I've actually been in first gear. So from coming down from fourth, whatever, or going to third, you know what I mean. Yeah, we've got our cart seat, which conforms to the stupid Time Attack regulations, but I'm not going to moan because everyone's doing it. We've just got to put some boots over top of the terminals on the battery to make that pass scrutineering. We've got all the Haltech gear up there. It's a bit of a mess at the moment, but that's all being tidied up tomorrow. We've got a pull cord for a fire extinguisher, which I've got time I'm going to move. I don't think there's much under the engine bay worth mentioning at the moment. It looks the same as it always has done. We've actually got a bit of an oil leak coming from this bolt here. Now that bolt there is essential to the VTC system, and we losing a bit of oil through there, so we're going to have to try and look at that today, try and fix it. We've got a very minor coolant leak with that throttle body housing, which we kind of, I'm not sure if that was in the last video actually, I think it might have been, but yeah, we've got to sort that coolant leak out. Tom come down yesterday, put our T in for our brake pressure sensor, because we're not using a brake pedal switch, we're using brake pressure to activate the brake lights. So just to wind it back a bit, so what you haven't seen in the background is that the guys from Haltech, both Mark and Luke, as I've come to learn now, they have sacrificed their weekends, their own personal time, to come 3 hours from their HQ all the way here to this shithole of a town called Skegness to come help wire the Micra. Now they did offer, but I feel really fucking guilty now. I've learned it is because I honestly thought it was on Haltech's time, but it turns out it wasn't. It was all on their own personal time. It's their own fuel money getting here. They've paid, it's their own money putting themselves into apartments and hotels while they've been down here. So I just can't honestly thank them guys enough for the effort and their own time and personal stuff that they've put into it. We wouldn't be there without them, really. So I don't really show emotion that often, but guys, honestly, chuffed to bits with the support. I honestly don't think we could have had a better partnership or a better sponsorship than Haltech. They've honestly been incredible. So speaking of which, so they've spent 3 weekends on the trot now since the barbecue meet. Coming down here Friday to Sunday. In fact, this week they stayed until Monday because we didn't get where we needed to do on the Sunday to help wire it up. But unfortunately, we ran out of time over this weekend to finish off the body wiring harness. So the reason why I'm starting this vlog today is because this evening I've got a trailer the car, 3.5 hours to the HQ in Heddersford. Then they're going to finish off the wiring and neaten up the wiring tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon we'll then make our way down to Brands Hatch, which is another 3.5 hours from there. So for a bit of context, Brands Hatch is 3.5 hours from where we are now. So I've got about 3.5 hours to them and 3.5 hours to Brands Hatch and 3.5 hours home. So there's going to be a lot of driving over the next couple of days. But I can't say no. These guys have sacrificed their weekends for us. So it seemed a bit of a dick thing to do to sort of say, what, I don't really want to drive 3.5 hours there, but we need to. Yeah, so that's where the vlog's going to go. I've got a few things to sort on the car this morning. I'm going to try and short the shifter. We're going to sort that coolant leak. I've got a wiring and camera for the Garmin catalyst. We've got to swap over my harness from the Civic. The last thing we've got to do, on the dyno last night, the intake temperatures were starting to get a bit warm, sort of like in the 40s. Bear in mind, last night was a bloody hot here. I think it was like 23 degrees, which is bloody hot for England. I know it seems a bit puny for the rest of the world, but for us Brits, that is scorchio. But because of the way I segment in the intercooler, so if you remember, we've got sort of like the bottom 30% being the for the supercharger, and the bottom and the top 70% for the turbocharger. But as you can probably see, even though I've cut all the grill out, we've got a massive number plate in the way. But the intercooler comes up to about here. So my plan is this morning is to remove this number plate. Now, unfortunately, they're being really picky about these number plate decals in the Time Attack Championship, and they explicitly say that we must run them in the number plate position. But I'm not about to sacrifice my hard work and time and effort for the sake of a number plate sticker. So I've got a Wasner sticker, which we got from a set of pistons that Ash had some time ago. So unfortunately, I'm going to shift K11 BBW Patrick up into these corners, because I've actually found some stickers yesterday. If not, I could print some on a decal cutter this morning. I'm going to put a Wasner sticker there, and hopefully that's going to satisfy the championship and scrutineers. But I'm going to make it impossible to put a number plate there, really. So they're not going to have a say in the matter. Plus, that's going to help our intercooler cooling and hopefully improve intake air temperatures. So yeah, hopefully I'm going to film some bits and bobs for you this morning to sort of pad this video out, so you're not looking at my face chatting all the time. We're going to then go get the trailer later on this afternoon, pick that up, bring it back here, and get the car loaded up, head over to Heddersford. We're going to camp in the mobile hostel, which is our race van, actually to do a tour around that at some point. We're going to stay in Haltech's car park overnight in the van because we've got beds in there, and then up in the morning, we're going to offload the car into Haltech. They're going to do all their wizardry, and then we'll head from Heddersford all the way down to Brands Hatch. So it's going to be a long video. It's probably too long already. But yeah, I'm going to try and vlog as much as I can this weekend. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm really shy with a camera. Now is okay because no one's here. I mean, you'll see me coming every 2 seconds, coming to check the cameras to see if anyone actually turns up. But I'm really fucking shy of filming myself in front of other people. So I'm going to do my best for you to film what happens this weekend. I'm at least going to try and give you a rundown of what happens over each session. So we've got 8 sections over 2 days this weekend. Obviously we've got round 3 on a Saturday, round 4 on a Sunday. So it's going to be a fairly long video. So yeah, let's get cracking. Yeah. Right, it's a bit of a jump cut. I forgot to film a load of shit. So we've got the van mostly loaded in the mobile hostel. We've got the Artec mobile fabrication station loaded. We're going to do a video of that separately. Fuel cans, fuel toolbox, all that shit. More shit to go in there. The car's now good to go. We've done everything we need to do. We fixed the water leak. We've also modified the bumper. I think I actually filmed that bit, so there should be some clips there. So now we've got a bit of extra airflow to intercooler to aid with intake air temps. Tied up a bit of wiring. We've wired in the camera for the Garmin catalyst, so hopefully there's going to be some sick footage this week. So just got finished loading the van, and I think we're going to take the car back to Ashes to do a quick tweak on the map, because we found a boost leak earlier, so we've mapped it with a boost leak. So we need to go back, check sure it's okay. And we also need to calibrate the speedo, which we've got to do on the rolling road anyway. So yeah, next. So we've just come around the corner to Giz-Motorsport Ash. We've just loaded a couple of tweaks to the map, because the throttle pedal was really bizarre. You'd come off the throttle pedal and it would keep the throttle open for about 1.5 seconds. It was just very disconcerting having the throttle still going when your foot's off the pedal. So we've managed to tweak that. So now we've got to do is load it up, and we've got a 3.5–4 hour drive to Heddersford. So there we go, all loaded. It is 7:15. We've got about a 3.5 hour drive to Heddersford. I mean, we're having an argument how you pronounce it. I'm going to go with Heddersford. So yeah, I'm driving the first in. We're going to stop off for something to eat on the way, and we'll probably roll in, I don't know, what, about 11 o'clock, do you reckon? 3.5 hours there? Stop off some fuel and drink.
Depends on the traffic.
There's no fucking traffic this time of night.
There's ever fucking no holiday makers, mate.
No. Right, see you next clip.
Head east, then turn right.
Halfway mark, still on trailer. Me and Dad have decided we need something gourmet to eat, so we're going Burger King. Oh yeah, we'll have double chicken. You couldn't have chosen the worst name for your business than Cooked.
Five hours later.
Fuck me, after what seemed forever, we finally got here. It's 12:15. Took a lot longer to get here than it should have done for some reason. Sat nav quoted 3 hours and it's took us nearly 5 for some fucking bizarre reason. No traffic on the roads, just constant updates from Google that keeps moving every 2 seconds. But yeah, we're here now. Haltech in... Oh, we've got it now, haven't we? What was it? Fucking hell. Herresford. Haltech. I'm knackered. I'm going to bed. See you in the morning.
The next morning.
Just left Haltech HQ in Hensford. The Micra's had some body wiring done to the PDM programs, which controls all the lights. While we're there, I can't remember his name now, Liberty Work S15 quad rotor while we're there. Fuck me, I never heard anything so loud. It was insanely fucking loud, that thing. So that's going to be interesting to hear tomorrow. While I was there, I raided the Haltech merch cupboard. Myself a new shirt and a sexy new hat. But yeah, it's just gone 6. We've left Haltech HQ, Hensford. We've got 144 miles to Brands Hatch. So we'll update the video when we get there and start loading. Not sure how our lighting's going to go, but it's 10:30. We're finally at Brands Hatch. We're unloaded. We've got all our gear in the garage. Got the Micra in and a mobile hostel done. I'm tired, but yeah, we got here too late to scrutineer tonight, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to join the massive queue tomorrow to get scrutineered. I know we need to fix a couple of things. We need to put some yellow tape on the earth strap for some strange fucking reason. Even though red and black, positive, negative, but we've got to put a yellow on the earth to designate it as an earth cable. Makes no sense. But other than that, we should go through. Just got to douse the battery terminals in a load of electrical tape, because of the way the terminals are on it now. We can't go and put boots over the top of it, so a bit frustrating, but it is what it is. Haltech boys are probably going to be here shortly, probably not. I'd imagine Luke and Mark are going to go straight to the hotel to go douse themselves in vodka. But before we left Haltech, they gave me a TPS monitoring system to plug into the CAN system, so that'll give us live data on tyre temperatures, tyre pressures, tell us if you've got a flat and stuff. So they're going to come first thing in the morning and program that into the Haltech. So yeah, we first drive in the morning for the Micra. Obviously we've not really done much mileage on the car. We've done obviously bits around the industrial estate that I've not really filmed because, you know, Mexico and all that. So we're just going to use the first section in the morning just to sort of like get a feel for the car, try and shake it down a bit. Well, then we'll push it a bit more in the second session, and we're just going to do some data logs, make sure the engine's happy, and obviously once I know it's happy I'll start pushing it a bit faster. So we're using this weekend just purely for data logging really. If the car's competitive off the bat, fantastic, but we're not aiming to be competitive, we're just aiming to shake the car down. So yeah, it's 10:30, just gonna have some tea, get some sleep, wake up, and yeah, we'll continue this tomorrow.
The next day.
So good morning from Brands Hatch, time attack, round 3. It's currently 6:30 in the morning. I've got up to do a couple of bits of the Micra, ready for scrutineering. However, I've just realised we have forgot to fit the front toe strap, which is a requirement. So I'm going to have to wait until people wake up. I wander up and down the pit lane and just hope someone's got some form of strap that I can put on the car to pass scrutineering. But yeah, so let's go to that, and let's get this thing for scrutineering, and hopefully the rest of our troubles for the weekend are done for. So we passed scrutineering. We just failed on a couple of stickers that I've not put on, so it's currently 10 to 9 and we're out in 10 minutes. So yeah, first section starts now. So we're back here from a first session, warm up or practice, I can't remember which way it is. Micra is a bit of a handful to drive, I can tell you straight away by ditching the power steering was not the way to go. The tyres are a bit too wide, it's very snappy. Now we have looped the power steering to get us through this weekend because we were let down on a manual rack. But I think we're going to keep the power steering rack now, and we'll get a pump fitted in the next couple of weeks to make it handle a bit better. So we did a 1 minute 1:63 with an optimal of a 1 minute 69, which is the optimal's 3/10 off our fastest last year with the old setup. Other issue is about halfway through the session, I lost first, second gear, which I know what the remedy is. We, for whatever me being an idiot, I put an adjustable turnbuckle linkage in the gear linkage to get to set up the short shifter, and that's come loose basically, so I can get third, fourth, fifth and reverse, but I can't get first or second. I can get around in third gear. I could probably be a bit quicker by having second gear, but yeah, so we're going to sort that out now. We forgot to turn on data logging as well on the ECU, so we've got no data on the ECU, so now that's turned on, then we'll go out and do a second section and see where we end up. So yeah, sick. second section of the day done. Unfortunately, we have lost first and second gear somehow. We've taken the linkage off and we've sort of put a pry bar on a gearbox to try and select first and second, and we just physically can't select third and second even with a big breaker bar. So I'm not sure if something's come loose or something's jammed in the selector mechanism in the gearbox. So we've literally got third, fourth, reverse and fifth. I've probably chosen the worst time to film this segment as the cars are going around, so I do apologise if you can't hear me. So yeah, we've data logged it. We've made some tweaks to the map, so we were running 5 psi, so we're not sure why, but we've upped the boost now to 7 psi, or we've done something which should hopefully give us 7 psi. So we're due back out shortly. Let's see what these changes have done. Another thing as well is that when you come off the throttle, the car just wants a nosedive. So Luke's from Howtek's made some adjustments to the throttle mapping. So hopefully when we change gear, it cruises a bit better in between gear changes. Hopefully, anyway. So yeah, I actually did my PB in that section of 58.68 with an optimal of I think 58.48. I'll put the screenshot on the screen now. So I think that shows you about what the car's capable of with its current setup. So yeah, we'll go back out now to the first section of the day and let's see if the car survives. It's still running, it's not crunching. However, by gaining first and second gear randomly throughout that section, I actually went from third to second rather than from third to fourth. But yeah, it's started to piss it down now for section 4. Unfortunately, I brought the wrong nuts for the wets, so we're going out there on the slicks, so that's going to be fun. So yeah, section 4 is going to start in a minute, so let's get in and booted. So yeah, that is the final over. We didn't really improve on time. As I mentioned, the weather started to turn a bit. The ambient temperature and pressure dropped quite a bit, which would have favoured performance. But again, teething issues when you build a car that fast without having to shake it down. We discovered that we've made an error really with the boost control solenoid. So every time we try to add boost, so let's say we add 1 psi, it actually reduces boost by 1 psi. So that's something we've got to fix tomorrow. We had a bit of an issue with cooling. Temperatures started to spike sporadically, and we discovered that we had a couple of airlocks in the coolant system, so we fixed that. Other than that, yeah, she's performed well. She's lasted day 1 at least. So tomorrow is when the shit's gonna go down. So I'm fully prepared to rod this engine. I'm fully prepared to meet Rodney outside of the block. So as the day progresses, we're going to start upping the boost and just sort of see what it takes to, you know, to make the engine tick as it would be. You know, we'll sort of see how much boost it will take until it goes bang. Now this engine was free, so you know, not really too fussed if we blow it up. It's just going to take us a couple of days, some new gaskets to drop another engine in. So yeah, gearbox is a weird one. We've suddenly got first and second gear again, and the gears start to feel a bit smoother now, whereas before they was quite stiff and notchy. Not sure why. Not going to complain, it feels better now. But yeah, other than that, that's day 1 over. The car is still in one piece, and tomorrow is another very long day. So it's now 10 o'clock and I'm going to go to bed. So yeah, I'll see you all, well, I said about 10 hours, but for you it's going to be about 2 seconds. So yeah, see you tomorrow.
The next morning.
Right, so off the circuit round 4, times at UK, what's in the Micra. You know it's the Micra, you still watch the same video. So yeah, we stayed up a bit late last night, we bled the coolant. We noticed the bottom rad hose was quite cold compared to the top hose, and we just couldn't get the coolant temps under control. So we spent about half hour just open bleeding it. We got quite a bit of air out there, maybe put about 200-300 ml of coolant back in it. Put a bit more oil in it after we get a bit of oil starvation, so hopefully that solves itself today. But today we're going to start turning the wick up, so every session we're going to put a bit more boost in it and see where we go, and hopefully by the end of the day we'll see if the engine still survives. So yeah, not long until the first session. It's going to be a pit walkabout in a minute. Just got to put some fuel in it and away we go. So yeah. unfortunately, somewhere in that session we lost drive to the gearbox. We lost all gears. Unfortunately, we had to get towed back to the paddock. The drive shafts popped out of the gearbox somehow, and miraculously we've got all the gears back, so I'm not really sure what's going on in there. I'm kind of thinking that the circlip on the end of the drive shaft's come off, and it's currently finding its way around the gearbox, which is what's causing these issues. So of course, to fix that, we've just put more boost in it. So we're about to go out for session 2, and hopefully we're not going to blow it up. So we've just come in after the second session. We've got a few issues to deal with. So I was really struggling to get into gear, like really badly struggling to get into gear. So my suspicions were confirmed. We've seemed to have stretched the clutch cable. So it's a good job I bought 2 more, because I thought this might have been an issue with that clutch we've got. But on a positive note, we have just set our PB on 57.76 for an optimal of 57.35, which is bloody good going. That's 3 seconds quicker than last year. So we're just going to change the clutch cable. We're going to change the oil, and we've already put the drive. So the gearbox issue, the drive shaft had popped out. We don't know why. We've popped it back in. We're going to load some more boost into the laptop. It's winding up. So we're going to try and run 12 psi, I think now, and see how it goes. So we'll see how I get on in the third session. So that's the third session out of the way. I'm delighted to say we got our next personal best on 57.20 with an optimal of 57.05, so I'm absolutely over the moon with that. We was out on 11.5 psi on that run, and it's quick, which is giving us some other issues now. Now the issue with the clutch was fine to begin with, but as the session progressed, the clutch just got worse and worse and worse, and we're back to square one. So even with a new cable on, it's not really fixed it. So I'm not sure. I'm kind of thinking I've bent the pedal box inside, so there's nothing we can really do now with a limp it round. But once it's moving and you heel and toe, you can get between third and fourth just fine, and that's literally what I'm using going around here at the moment. So that's what's going to have to, that's just basically going to be it now. So we've got a final session, we're on very shortly. We've just loaded in what we're calling the moon tune. So the moon tune is a bar of boost, it's a 14 psi. We've also put some special sauce in the fuel to aid against detonation, so we've managed to put a bit more timing into it. So I don't care if I rod this block, you know, if we put a con rod through that block, I'm not going to cry about it. It was a free engine, so the engine's done pretty well to last this far this weekend already. So yeah, going on to issues that we've got now is our terminal speed, which is now 108 or 109 mile an hour. So just to put that into perspective, when we was on 4.5 psi yesterday, our terminal speed was 95 mile an hour. Our now top speed is 108 or 109. So by going from 4.5 psi to 12 psi, we've gained, do your maths in my bed, 13 mile an hour in top speed. So that's quite a bit. So the issue we've got now is the brakes are struggling. No, we've not changed the brake setup since last year. It's still the 240mm off the 100NX, and the brakes just can't cope with the terminal speed now. So we've got one more section to go. We're going to limp it round. I've given myself a target of a 56 something, so a 56.99 will satisfy me for this weekend, and the cars will do a good job. But again, with the moon tune and the special sauce, it might not survive. But it is what it is, you know. I'd say I'm fully prepared to sacrifice the box. So we're about to go out in about 20 minutes time, and let's go see what this baby will do. So I don't really want to talk about what just happened there, but I'm sure you saw in the video that we had another horrendous mischief from second to fourth, and unfortunately we seem to have lost all the gears again. I've got first and second gear, but I've got absolutely nothing else. I've got a sneaky suspicion that the linking underneath that I put in the adjuster has come loose again, so that's royally screwed that. But I can tell you what, that is the fastest it's just gone this weekend. We was up to, I think, 13 psi of boost at one point. Unfortunately I didn't press the data log button, so we've got no data. But yeah, there would have been a 56 in that for sure. 56 in that for sure. So unfortunately it wasn't meant to be today, but we are back at Brands Hatch in September, so we now know what our target is. So when we do come back in September, we know what to do. So yeah, I'm hoping this has been a decent amount of content, and I hope I've done a good job editing this vlog. And if you're probably still here 30 minutes on, thank you for staying for the duration. But yeah, this is going to be a reoccurring thing for each round this year. I actually still need to do a catch-up round for Cadwell. I filmed it, actually I edited it, but hopefully this will be out and I'll put the Cadwell out at a later date. So yeah, thanks for following the journey of me and the Micra this week. I just want to say a special thanks to the guys at Haltech. Mark and Luke are, I love them. They're a cracking bunch of blokes. Yeah, cracking bunch of blokes. Not just saying that because we're sponsored by Haltech, but the guys are they're genuine. They're not salesperson, they're genuine, and you just know what you're getting with them, which I absolutely love. Cracking pair of blokes. Obviously, special thanks to Dad, Ash, Luke, and everyone else. I'm just a bit of a high at the moment, so I'm just struggling to get my words out. But yeah, that's it for rounds 3 and 4 at Thunderwood at Brands Hatch. and we'll see you in the next video, which is Alton Park in 4 weeks.